How Long Will This Last is a collection of 9 works, and together they are an autobiographical reflection on the pandemic and specifically the quiet or otherwise forgotten moments of the past 2 years. As I began to create this work, I was increasingly aware of the 2 year pandemic milestone coming up, and also that I was struggling to remember what ordinary life was like before COVID-19 hit. At the start of the pandemic, I was fortunate to still be living in a shared house with my friends who feature in several of the drawings. This was something I felt incredibly grateful for at the time when so many were isolated from family and friends. And I documented this originally by filling sketchbooks and taking photos. It felt like a positive way to navigate the ever changing situation. Spending that time in lockdown meant that we developed a heightened awareness of our surroundings, and I really wanted that to come through in the work. The brightly coloured scenes exemplify a symbiotic relationship between the figures and their environments. The lines are often blurred between person and object as the backgrounds bleed into the figures and vice versa. While creating the work, I caught COVID myself, mildly, thankfully, and several of the pieces were made during self isolation. Something that I think a lot of artists can relate to was having to use and make use of limited materials during lockdowns and self isolation, which is why I opted for coloured pencils. I was able to make these raw, loose marks to emulate the spontaneity of the moments shown in the works while keeping the bright colours that I enjoy using in my practice through the painted backgrounds. I say that these pieces are autobiographical because even in the images where I have drawn or painted other people, I've tried to capture how I felt in those moments. I recognise that everyone's experience of the pandemic has been different, and I'm in a privileged position to be able to reflect on these 2 years when for some they've suffered immense pain and suffering because of COVID-19. I see this body of work as a document of daily life at a time when life itself has been altered so dramatically.